Hey there everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ava Blake, and tonight I'm thrilled to pull you into a world filled with mystery, passion, and a touch of the supernatural. If you're a fan of shifter romance, buckle up because this story will steal your heart. Hit that like and subscribe button to join me on this wild ride. Let's dive into a tale of love, betrayal, and a secret that could change everything. Imagine a world where the line between human and beast blurs under the moonlight. Shifter Pack's families of werewolves live by ancient laws, bound by loyalty, strength, and a deep connection to the wild magic in their blood. Each pack is led by an alpha, a fierce protector, and a Luna, the heart and soul, who keeps the pack united. It's a world of beauty, but also danger, where trust can be as fragile as a whisper in the wind. Our story centers on the Crescent Pack, a tight-knit group fighting to protect their way of life. Their peace was shattered long ago by the Shadow Pack, a rogue faction that betrayed the sacred oaths binding all shifters. Centuries ago, the Shadow Pack sought power over all others, sparking a war that left scars still felt today. It's like a small American town torn apart by a betrayal, maybe a neighbor turning against the community they swore to protect. That kind of wound doesn't heal easily. At the heart of this tale is Lila Vance, the Luna of the Crescent Pack. Lila's not just any shifter, she's destined to be the pack's guiding light, but her path is far from easy. Then there's Ethan Cole, the pack's alpha, a man whose strength is matched only by the weight of his secrets. Lila and Ethan are fated mates bound by a love so powerful it could light up the night sky. But here's the catch: Ethan once rejected Lila in front of the entire pack, claiming it was to protect her. That rejection left a wound in Lila's heart, one that still bleeds every time their eyes meet. Why would Ethan do that? What could drive an alpha to push away his fated mate? That's where the mystery begins. Whispers of a prophecy haunt the Crescent Pack. A prophecy about a child, a shifter with ancient blood who could either save or destroy every pack in existence. The Shadow Pack believes this child is the key to their revenge, and they'll stop at nothing to find it. Lila and Ethan are caught in the crosshairs, their love tested by secrets, danger, and a past that refuses to stay buried. This story reminds me of the tight-knit communities we see across America, places where history and loyalty mean everything, but old grudges can tear people apart. Like a town rallying to protect their home from an outside threat, Lila and Ethan's pack is fighting for survival. It's not just about claws and fangs, it's about trust, love, and standing up for what matters most. Here's a little lesson from our story. Every community, whether it's a pack of shifters or a neighborhood in your hometown, needs a strong foundation to weather the storm. For Lila and Ethan, that foundation is their bond, but it's been shaken by betrayal. As we dive deeper, you'll see how they fight to rebuild it, and how the smallest spark of trust can light the way through the darkest night. But before Lila and Ethan can face their future, they've got to survive the present. As Lila flees through the forest, hunted by the Shadow Pack's rogue wolves, she's about to collide with the one person she both needs and dreads, Ethan. Will their fractured bond hold against the danger closing in? Let's find out. The chase and the threat of rogue wolves. Welcome back everyone, it's Ava Blake, and we're diving right back into our shifter romance saga. If you're just joining us, we've stepped into a world where werewolves live by ancient laws, and love can be as dangerous as it is powerful. Last time we met Lila Vance, the Luna of the Crescent Pack, and Ethan Cole, her fated mate and alpha, whose rejection left her heart scarred. Now the Shadow Pack's dark ambitions loom large, and a mysterious child holds the key to their plans. Grab a cozy spot because things are about to get intense. Picture Lila alone in a moonlit forest, her heart pounding like a drum. She's running her breath ragged as the chilling howls of rogue wolves, outcasts from the Shadow Pack, echo through the trees. These aren't just any wolves. They're relentless hunters, driven by a hunger for vengeance. Lila's fast, her shifter instincts sharp, but she's outnumbered, and the forest feels like it's closing in. Every snap of a twig, every rustle in the underbrush sends her pulse racing. It's the kind of fear you might feel walking home late at night, sensing someone just out of sight, watching your every move. Just when it seems like the rogues are about to catch her, Lila crashes into someone, Ethan. His presence is like a storm, fierce and commanding, but there's a flicker of worry in his green eyes. He's here to protect her, even though the wound of his rejection still burns between them. "Stay close," he growls, his voice low and urgent. Lila wants to snap back to tell him she doesn't need his help, but the howls are getting closer, and deep down, she knows they're stronger together. It's a moment that reminds me of those times in life when you have to swallow your pride and accept help, like teaming up with a friend to face a tough challenge, even if you've had your differences. What follows is a heart-pounding clash. Lila and Ethan move as one. Their shifter forms a blur of speed and strength. Lila uses her agility darting between trees to outmaneuver the rogues, while Ethan's raw power sends one wolf sprawling with a single swipe. They're not just fighting for survival. They're fighting for each other, even if neither wants to admit it. Their fated bond pulses between them, a thread of magic that's both a blessing and a curse. It's like watching a dance, beautiful and deadly, where every step is fueled by instinct and unspoken trust. This scene feels like something out of an American action flick. Think of the intense chases in movies like John Wick, where every move is calculated, but the stakes are deeply personal. Lila's not just dodging claws, she's wrestling with her feelings for Ethan. Every glance they share is charged with history, love, betrayal, and a longing neither can ignore. It's the kind of tension you might feel when you're forced to work with someone you care about, but who's hurt you before, like a co-worker you once trusted, but now keep at arm's length. Here's a small lesson from this moment. Sometimes the hardest battles aren't the ones we fight with others, but the ones within ourselves. Lila's learning that trusting again, especially after betrayal, takes as much courage as facing a pack of rogue wolves. It's a lesson we can all relate to, whether it's forgiving a friend or taking a chance on love after heartbreak. Trust isn't easy, but it's often the key to overcoming the toughest odds. As the last rogue wolf retreats, whimpering into the shadows, Lila and Ethan stand panting, their breaths visible in the cold night air. The danger's gone for now, but the air between them crackles with unresolved pain. Lila's eyes lock onto Ethan's, and for a moment it feels like they could bridge the gap until she remembers his rejection. "Why are you here, Ethan?" she demands, her voice sharp with hurt. His silence speaks volumes, and it's clear this fight has only deepened the rift between them. But the forest holds more secrets, and the answers Lila seeks are closer than she thinks. What drove Ethan to push her away? And how is it tied to the Shadow Pack's hunt for the mysterious child? To find out, they'll need to confront the past, a past that's about to catch up with them in ways neither expects. Stick with me, because the truth is just beginning to unravel. Secrets of the Past and Ethan's Betrayal. Hey there everyone, it's Ava Blake, back with another chapter in our Shifter romance saga. If you're just tuning in, we're deep in a world of werewolves, where love and danger go hand in hand. We've followed Lila Vance, the Luna of the Crescent Pack, as she fled from rogue wolves, only to be saved by Ethan Cole, her fated mate and alpha. Their bond is electric, but it's also fractured by Ethan's past rejection of Lila. Now, with the threat of the Shadow Pack looming, the air is thick with tension. Grab a cozy blanket, because we're about to uncover the painful truth behind Ethan's choice. After their battle with the rogue wolves, Lila and Ethan find a moment of uneasy calm in the forest. The danger's past for now, but the silence between them is heavy, like the quiet before a storm. Lila's heart is a battlefield. Part of her wants to lean into Ethan's strength to feel the warmth of their fated bond. But another part can't forget the sting of his betrayal. She turns to him, her hazel eyes blazing with questions. "Why, Ethan?" she asks, her voice trembling. "Why did you turn your back on me?" Ethan's jaw tightens, and for a moment it seems he'll dodge the question again. But the weight of Lila's pain demands an answer. Let's step back to understand what happened. Months ago, during a sacred pack ritual under a full moon, Ethan stood before the Crescent Pack and declared that he couldn't take Lila as his mate. He claimed it was for her safety, but his words cut like claws, leaving Lila humiliated in front of everyone she cared about. It's the kind of public rejection that hits hard, like being called out in a small-town community where everyone knows your business. In America, we value personal pride, and for Lila that moment was a wound to her very core. So why did Ethan do it? The answer lies in a prophecy that's haunted the Crescent Pack for generations. An elder once foretold that the love between an alpha and his Luna could spark a war, one that would draw the Shadow Pack back to power. Ethan, torn between his duty to protect the pack and his love for Lila, made a choice he thought would keep her safe. He pushed her away, believing distance would shield her from the prophecy's shadow. It's a decision rooted in fear, not betrayal, but to Lila, it felt like abandonment. Imagine choosing to protect someone you love by hurting them like a parent, making a tough call to keep their child safe, even if it means breaking their heart. This moment reminds me of real-life situations we've all faced where love and responsibility clash. Think of a time when you had to make a hard choice for someone else's sake, like ending a relationship to spare them pain or keeping a secret to protect a friend. It's never easy, and Ethan's choice left scars on both him and Lila. Their story echoes shows like The Vampire Diaries, where love is often tangled with sacrifice, and the fallout feels all too real. Here's a small lesson from this chapter. Sometimes the choices we make to protect others can hurt them more than we realize. Ethan thought he was saving Lila, but his silence only deepened her pain. It's a reminder that open communication, even when it's hard, is the key to healing wounds, whether in a shifter pack or in our own lives. For Lila, understanding Ethan's reasons is the first step, but trust won't come easily. As Lila listens to Ethan's halting explanation, her anger softens, but the hurt remains. "You should have told me," she says, her voice barely above a whisper. Ethan steps closer, his green eyes filled with regret. "I know," he murmurs. "But I'm here now, Lila. I won't let you face this alone." Their moment is fragile, like a spark that could either ignite or fade. But before they can say more, a new threat emerges from the shadows, a figure whose presence will unravel even more secrets. Who is this stranger? And what do they know about the mysterious child the Shadow Pack seeks? Lila and Ethan are about to find out, and the answers will test their bond like never before. Stay with me, because the stakes are only getting higher. The arrival of Selene and the mystery of the child. Hey there everyone, it's Ava Blake, and we're back with another chapter in our shifter romance saga. If you're just joining us, we're deep in a world where werewolves fight for love and survival. Lila Vance, the Luna of the Crescent Pack, and Ethan Cole, her fated mate and alpha, have just battled rogue wolves from the Shadow Pack. Their bond is strained by Ethan's past rejection, which we learned was driven by a prophecy warning of war. Now, as they stand on the edge of truth, a new figure emerges to shake their world. Get comfy, because this is where the mystery deepens. The forest is quiet after the fight, but the tension between Lila and Ethan feels like a live wire. Lila's still reeling from Ethan's confession that he rejected her to protect her from a prophecy. Her heart aches to believe him, but trust is a fragile thing. Just as they're about to speak, a chilling laugh cuts through the night. Out of the shadows steps Selene Kane, a member of the Shadow Pack, with eyes that gleam like cold steel. Selene's presence is like a storm cloud, dark and commanding, and her voice drips with menace. Well, well. She purrs the fated mates still clinging to each other. How touching. Selene isn't just any shifter. She's a strategist, driven by a hunger for power and a grudge that runs deep. The Shadow Pack, she reveals, is hunting a child, a shifter with ancient blood, said to hold the key to controlling or destroying every pack. Selene taunts Lila and Ethan, hinting that this child is tied to their past, a secret they've yet to uncover. Her words are like a puzzle, each piece raising more questions. Why does the Shadow Pack want this child? And what does it have to do with Lila and Ethan's bond? It's the kind of mystery that keeps you up at night, like trying to piece together a family secret that everyone's afraid to talk about. To make matters worse, Lila notices something fall from Selena's cloak, a tattered piece of parchment etched with strange symbols. It's a clue, a fragment of the Shadow Pack's plans, but Selena's too quick, vanishing into the forest before Lila can confront her. That parchment is a lifeline, a hint that the truth is within reach, but it also means danger is closer than ever. This moment feels like something out of an American mystery series, like Stranger Things, where every clue pulls you deeper into a web of secrets, and the stakes are personal. Selene's motives remind me of real-life rivalries we see in tight-knit communities. Think of a small town where an old feud fuels someone's quest for control, like a business owner undermining a neighbor to gain power. Selene's driven by loss. She once lost her family in the war between packs, and now she sees the child as her path to vengeance and dominance. Her complexity makes her more than a villain. She's a mirror of what Lila could become if she let anger consume her. It's a reminder that our choices shape who we are, even when the world pushes us toward darkness. Here's a small lesson from this moment. Sometimes the hardest truths come from the people we least expect. Selene's taunts force Lila to face questions she's been avoiding about her past, her bond with Ethan, and her role as Luna. It's like when a friend or even a rival says something that hits too close to home, making you rethink everything. Embracing those hard truths, no matter how painful, can lead to growth and clarity. As Lila clutches the parchment, her mind races. She knows she and Ethan need to uncover the child's identity before Selene does, but the weight of their fractured trust hangs heavy. We can't let her win. Lila says, her voice steady despite the fear in her heart. Ethan nods, his green eyes locked on hers, a silent promise to face this together. But the forest is no longer safe, and Selene's words echo in their minds. The child is closer than you think. What does Selene know that Lila and Ethan don't? And how will this mysterious child change their fate? The answers lie in the shadows, and they're about to meet someone who might hold the key. Stick with me, because Lila's journey is just beginning to take shape. Lila's journey to becoming Luna. Hey there everyone, it's Ava Blake, and we're diving deeper into our shifter romance saga. If you're just joining us, we're in a world where werewolves fight for love and survival, and the stakes are higher than ever. Lila Vance, the Luna of the Crescent Pack, and Ethan Cole, her fated mate and alpha, have just faced rogue wolves and uncovered a chilling mystery about a child hunted by the Shadow Pack. Selene Kane's taunts and a cryptic parchment have left them shaken, but Lila's about to discover something even more profound, her own strength. Grab a cozy drink, because this chapter is all about rising up. The forest feels alive with secrets as Lila and Ethan catch their breath after Selena's departure. Lila's clutching the parchment, her mind racing with questions about the child and what it means for their pack. But doubt gnaws at her. She's supposed to be the Luna, the heart of the Crescent Pack, but Ethan's rejection and her own fears make her feel unworthy. I'm not ready for this, she whispers to herself, the weight of her role pressing down like a stone. It's a moment of vulnerability we've all felt, like standing at the edge of a big responsibility, unsure if you've got what it takes. That's when a new voice breaks the silence. Jasper Reed, a lone shifter with weathered features and steely blue eyes, steps forward. He's not part of the Crescent Pack, but there's a quiet wisdom in his gaze that commands respect. Jasper tells Lila something she's never fully understood. Being a Luna isn't just about being Ethan's mate. It's about leading with courage, inspiring the pack, and holding them together when the world feels like it's falling apart. You've got the heart for it, he says, his voice gruff but kind. You just need to believe it. Jasper's words hit Lila like a spark. She's spent so long feeling like a victim of Ethan's rejection of the Shadow Pack's threats that she's forgotten her own power. But doubt doesn't vanish easily. When a wounded pack member stumbles into their path, attacked by a rogue wolf, Lila's instincts kick in. She kneels beside the injured shifter, her hands steady as she binds their wounds, whispering words of encouragement. It's a small act, but it feels like a turning point. For the first time, Lila senses the pack's trust in her, and it ignites something fierce within. This moment reminds me of real-life situations where we step up in a crisis, like helping a friend through a tough time, or taking charge at work when no one else will. In America, we celebrate strong women who rise to the occasion. Think of leaders like teachers or community organizers who hold things together under pressure. Lila's journey echoes characters like Katniss in the Hunger Games, who grows from uncertainty into a symbol of hope. It's not about being fearless, it's about acting despite the fear. Lila's not there yet, though. As she tends to the wounded shifter, her mind churns with self-doubt. What if she fails the pack? What if she's not strong enough to face Selene? Jasper watches her closely, then shares a story of his own, a time when he lost his pack to the Shadow Pack's schemes. Aluna doesn't need to be perfect, he tells her. She needs to be present, to show the pack they're not alone. His words are a lifeline, helping Lila see that her strength lies in her compassion, not just her claws. Here's a small lesson from this chapter. True leadership comes from embracing who you are, flaws and all. Lila's learning that being a Luna isn't about having all the answers. It's about showing up for others, even when you're scared. It's a lesson we can carry into our own lives, whether it's leading a team, supporting a family, or just being there for a friend. Your presence can be a light in someone else's darkness. As Lila stands, her resolve hardening, she feels a shift within her. The wounded shifter looks up at her with gratitude, and for a moment Lila glimpses the Luna she could become. Ethan watches from a distance, his green eyes filled with a mix of pride and regret. "You're stronger than you know," he says softly, but Lila's not ready to lean on him yet. She needs to prove this to herself first. The parchment in her hand feels heavier now, a reminder of the child they must protect, and the Shadow Pack's growing threat. But the forest is never still for long. A rustle in the distance signals that Selene's forces are closing in, and Lila knows the pack can't face them divided. Can she rally the Crescent Pack and step fully into her role as Luna? The answer lies in the bonds they forge next. Stay with me, because Lila's about to take a stand that could change everything. The unity of the pack and the plan to fight back. Hey there everyone, it's Ava Blake, and we're back with another chapter in our Shifter romance saga. If you're just tuning in, we're in a world where werewolves battle for love and survival, and every choice carries weight. Lila Vance. The Luna of the Crescent Pack is starting to embrace her role, thanks to the wisdom of Jasper Reed, a lone shifter who showed her the power of compassion. Alongside Ethan Cole, her fated mate and Alpha Lilas, facing the Shadow Pack's growing threat, and a mystery about a child with ancient blood. Settle in, because this chapter is all about coming together when the odds are stacked against you. The forest is tense with the echo of Selene Kane's threats lingering in the air. Lila knows the Crescent Pack can't face the Shadow Pack alone, not with rogue wolves circling and a cryptic parchment hinting at danger. She's holding that parchment tight, its symbols, a puzzle she can't yet solve, but her heart is set on one thing, uniting the pack. Lila's still new to being Luna, and doubt creeps in. Some pack members see her as weak, tainted by Ethan's rejection months ago. "How can she lead us?" she overhears one mutter. It's a sting that hits deep, like being judged in a small community where your past defines you. Lila calls the pack to gather a bold move for someone still finding her footing. The Crescent Pack is a mix of fierce warriors, wary elders, and young shifters, each with their own fears and hopes. Among them is Caleb Holt, a loyal warrior with a steady gaze and a scar across his cheek earned in a past battle with rogues. Caleb's the kind of friend who'd have your back no matter what, but even he hesitates, unsure if Lila can inspire them. Standing before the pack, Lila takes a deep breath. "We're not just fighting for ourselves," she says, her voice steady despite the nerves. "We're fighting for our home, for the child the Shadow Pack wants to destroy, and for every shifter who deserves a future." Her words spark a shift. Caleb steps forward, his voice gruff but firm. "She's right, we've been divided too long." But not everyone's convinced. An elder, grizzled and skeptical, challenges her. "You're no Luna yet," he growls. "Prove you're worth following." Lila doesn't back down. She shares Jasper's lesson that a Luna leads with heart and vows to protect them all, even if it costs her everything. Slowly the pack begins to rally their doubts, giving way to a shared purpose. It's a moment of unity, like a team coming together before a big game, each member finding strength in the group. This scene reminds me of real-life communities in America, like a small town pulling together after a crisis. Think of neighbors rebuilding after a storm, each person bringing something to the table. It's the kind of spirit you see in shows like The Avengers, where heroes with different strengths unite for a common cause. Lila's leadership isn't perfect, but it's honest, and that's what starts to win them over. She and Ethan outline a plan, scout the forest, decode the parchment, and prepare for the Shadow Pack's next move. Caleb volunteers to lead a patrol, his loyalty, a spark that ignites the pack's resolve. Here's a small lesson from this moment. Unity is stronger than any one person, but it starts with someone brave enough to take the first step. Lila's willingness to face the pack's doubts, even when she's unsure herself, shows that leadership is about action, not certainty. It's a lesson we can apply in our own lives, whether it's bringing friends together for a cause or rallying co-workers for a project. One voice can start a movement. As the pack disperses to prepare, Lila feels a flicker of hope. Ethan stands beside her, his presence steady but complicated. "You did good," he says, his green eyes soft with pride. Lila nods, but her mind is on the parchment and the child it points to. The pack is united, but the Shadow Pack won't wait. Selene's out there plotting, and Lila knows they need more than courage, they need answers. What secrets does the parchment hold, and how will Lila prove she's the Luna the pack needs? The path ahead is dangerous, and it's about to bring Lila and Ethan closer in ways they never expected. Stay with me, because the heart of their bond is next. Emotional reunion between Lila and Ethan. Hey there everyone, it's Ava Blake, and we're back with another heartfelt chapter in our shifter romance saga. If you're just joining us, we're in a world where werewolves fight for love and survival, and every moment tests the heart. Lila Vance, the Luna of the Crescent Pack, has just united her pack against the Shadow Pack's looming threat, proving she's more than Ethan Cole's fated mate. She's a leader. With the mysterious child still out of reach and Selene Kane's schemes closing in, Lila and Ethan are about to face their deepest challenge, yet each other. Grab a cozy spot because this one's going to tug at your heartstrings. After the pack's gathering, Lila and Ethan find a rare moment alone by a quiet stream, the moonlight casting a soft glow around them. The air feels charged, not with danger this time, but with everything unspoken between them. Lila's still holding the parchment from Selene, its secrets weighing on her, but it's Ethan's presence that unsettles her most. His rejection months ago, when he pushed her away to protect her from a prophecy, left scars that haven't healed. Yet standing here, Lila feels the pull of their fated bond, like a thread tugging at her soul. It's the kind of longing that makes your chest ache, like seeing someone you love after too long apart. Ethan breaks the silence first. "I was wrong, Lila," he says, his voice rough with regret. "I thought pushing you away would keep you safe, but all I did was hurt you." His green eyes search hers, raw and vulnerable, and Lila feels her walls start to crumble. He explains how the prophecy haunted him, how it warned that their love could spark a war with the Shadow Pack. I was scared, he admits, scared of losing you, of failing the pack. But I see now that you're not my weakness. You're my strength. His words are a confession, a plea for forgiveness, and they hit Lila hard. This moment is like a turning point in any relationship where trust has been broken. Think of a real-life scenario, maybe a couple working through a misunderstanding or friends rebuilding after a falling out. In America, we value second chances, the idea that love can heal if both sides are willing to try. Lila's torn between her hurt and her heart, which still beats for Ethan. Their story feels like something out of Outlander, where love endures despite time and pain, each step toward reconciliation, a quiet victory. Lila takes a shaky breath, her voice soft but firm. "You should have trusted me, Ethan. We could have faced it together." She steps closer, their hands brushing, and the fated bond flares between them, warm and undeniable. Ethan reaches for her, his touch hesitant, as if afraid she'll pull away. But Lila doesn't. In that moment, they let go of the past, their lips meeting in a kiss that feels like coming home. It's not a perfect fix. Trust takes time, but it's a promise to try to fight for each other as fiercely as they fight for their pack. Here's a small lesson from this chapter. Forgiveness isn't about erasing the pain. It's about choosing to move forward together. Lila and Ethan's kiss is a step, not the end. And it reminds us that love grows strongest when we face our fears with honesty. It's a lesson for all of us, whether it's forgiving a partner, a friend, or even ourselves. A single moment of courage can rebuild what was broken. As Lila and Ethan pull apart, their foreheads touching the parchment in Lila's hand feels like a call to action. The Shadow Pack is still out there, and Selene won't stop until she finds the child. Their renewed bond gives them strength, but the fight ahead will test them like never before. The forest whispers with danger, and a new challenge is about to crash into their lives. Can Lila and Ethan hold on to this fragile hope as the Shadow Pack strikes? The battle for their pack, and their love is coming, and it's going to change everything. Stay with me, because the storm is almost here. Climactic battle with the Shadow Pack. Hey there everyone, it's Ava Blake, and we're back with a heart-pounding chapter in our Shifter romance saga. If you're just tuning in, we're in a world where werewolves fight for love and survival, and every moment is a test of courage. Lila Vance, the Lunar of the Crescent Pack, has united her pack and rekindled her bond with Ethan Cole, her fated mate and alpha. But the Shadow Pack, led by the cunning Selene Kane, is hunting a mysterious child with ancient blood. With a cryptic parchment as their only clue, Lila and Ethan are bracing for the fight of their lives. Grab something cozy, because this chapter is going to be intense. The forest feels like it's holding its breath as Lila and Ethan lead the Crescent Pack into position. Selene's rogue wolves have been spotted nearby, and the air is thick with the promise of battle. Lila's heart races. She's never led a fight like this before, but the pack's trust in her feels like a fire in her chest. Ethan stands beside her, his green eyes scanning the shadows, his strength a steady anchor. Their plan is simple, but risky: use the forest terrain to outsmart the rogues, protect the pack, and uncover any clues about the child. But plans rarely survive the chaos of war. The attack comes like a thunderclap. Selene's wolves burst from the trees, their snarls cutting through the night. Lila and Ethan shift in an instant, their forms a blur of fur and fury. The Crescent Pack fights as one, with Caleb Holt, the scarred warrior, leading a flank to cut off the rogues' retreat. Lila's agility shines as she weaves through the fray, her instincts sharp, but it's her newfound power as Lunar that turns the tide. A glow pulses from her hands, a spark of ancient magic tied to her role, stunning a rogue wolf mid-leap. It's a moment that feels like destiny, like Lila's finally stepping into the leader she was born to be. But victory comes at a cost. Jasper Reed, the lone shifter who helped Lila find her strength, throws himself in front of her to block a rogue's attack. His sacrifice is swift and brutal, his body crumpling as Lila's scream echoes through the fight. Ethan fights his way to her side, his roar shaking the air, and together they drive the rogues back. Selene, watching from the shadows, lets out a mocking laugh before vanishing her voice, taunting. This is only the beginning. The battle ends with the rogues retreating, but the Crescent Pack is left battered, and Jasper's loss cuts deep. This fight reminds me of real-life moments when communities face overwhelming odds. Think of a small American town banding together after a disaster like a wildfire, where every person's effort matters, but losses still hurt. It's the kind of epic struggle you see in movies like Avengers Endgame, where heroes fight not just for survival, but for something bigger than themselves. Lila's leadership and Jasper's sacrifice mirror that spirit, showing that even in chaos, courage and unity can shine through. Here's a small lesson from this chapter. Sometimes the greatest strength comes from what we're willing to give for others. Jasper's sacrifice wasn't just about saving Lila, it was about believing in the pack's future. It's a reminder for all of us, whether it's supporting a friend through a tough time or standing up for a cause. The things we fight for and the people we fight beside give our struggles meaning. As Lila kneels beside Jasper's still form, her hands trembling, she feels the weight of his loss and the responsibility it carries. Ethan pulls her close, his voice soft but firm. He believed in you, Lila. So do I. The parchment, now stained with dirt, is a stark reminder that the child is still out there and Selene is not done. The pack's victory is fragile, and Lila knows they need to honor Jasper's sacrifice by pressing forward. What will the pack do in the wake of this battle? And how will Lila carry the weight of leadership now? The answers lie in the moments that follow, where grief and resolve collide. Stay with me, because the Crescent Pack's journey is far from over. Aftermath of the battle and lessons in unity. Hey there everyone, it's Ava Blake, and we're back with a poignant chapter in our Shifter romance saga. If you're just joining us, we're in a world where werewolves fight for love and survival, and every victory comes with a cost. Lila Vance, the Luna of the Crescent Pack, and Ethan Cole, her fated mate and alpha, have just led their pack through a brutal battle against the Shadow Pack's rogue wolves. Lila's newfound power as Luna helped turn the tide, but the loss of Jasper Reed, the lone shifter who believed in her, cuts deep. Settle in, because this chapter is about healing, honoring, and finding strength together. The forest is eerily quiet after the battle, the air heavy with the scent of earth and loss. Lila stands among the Crescent Pack, her heart aching as she looks at the faces around her, some bruised, some grieving, but all looking to her for guidance. Jasper's sacrifice saved her, and it's a weight she feels in every breath. Ethan's hand brushes hers, a silent reminder that she's not alone, but Lila knows being Luna means carrying this pain for the pack. They've won this fight, but Selene Kane's escape and the mystery of the child still loom large, making this victory feel fragile. To honor those lost, Lila calls for a pack ritual, a tradition as old as the shifters themselves. Each member places a stone in a circle, a symbol of remembrance and resilience. As Lila sets her stone for Jasper, she speaks softly, her voice steady despite the tears in her eyes. Jasper believed in us, she says. He gave everything so we could keep fighting. We owe it to him to protect our pack and find the child before Selene does. The pack murmurs in agreement, their shared grief forging a bond stronger than before. Caleb Holt, the loyal warrior, adds his stone, his scarred face solemn, but determined, a sign that the pack is united in purpose. This ritual feels like a moment of closure and renewal, like a small American town holding a memorial after a tragedy. Think of a community gathering to honor firefighters or soldiers who gave their lives. It's the kind of scene you see in movies like Black Panther, where rituals tie people to their past while giving them hope for the future. The Crescent Pack stones aren't just for Jasper, they're for every shifter who's fought for their home, a reminder that unity is their greatest strength. Lila and Ethan step aside after the ritual, the parchment from Selene still in Lila's hands. They talk about what's next, decoding the symbols, finding the child, and preparing for Selene's return. Ethan's voice is firm but warm. "You led us through this, Lila. You're the Luna we need." For the first time, Lila feels the truth of those words. The Pack's trust earned through blood and tears is a mantle she's ready to wear. It's a moment of growth, not just for her, but for the Pack who now see her as their heart and leader. This scene reminds me of real-life moments when we come together after loss. Like families rebuilding after a hurricane, each person finding purpose in shared effort. In America, we value community resilience, the idea that we're stronger when we lean on each other. Lila's leadership mirrors that spirit, showing that even in grief, there's room for hope and action. Here's a small lesson from this chapter. Honoring those we've lost gives us the strength to keep going. The Pack's ritual isn't just about saying goodbye. It's about carrying Jasper's belief in them forward. It's a lesson we can apply in our own lives, whether it's remembering a loved one by living out their values, or supporting a community through tough times. Our losses shape us, but they also remind us what we're fighting for. As Lila looks at the stone circle, her resolve hardens. The parchment symbols are a puzzle they must solve, and Selene's threat is far from over. Ethan stands beside her, their bond a quiet strength. The Pack is ready, but the child's fate hangs in the balance, and the next step will demand everything they have. What secrets will the parchment reveal, and how will Lila lead her Pack into the unknown? The answers are close, and they're about to set the stage for a final stand. Stay with me, because the Crescent Pack's fight is reaching its climax. Open ending and hints of the future. Hey there everyone, it's Ava Blake, and we've reached the final chapter of this chapter in our Shifter romance saga. If you're just joining us, we've been immersed in a world where werewolves fight for love and survival, and every choice shapes their destiny. Lila Vance, the Luna of the Crescent Pack, has grown into her role, leading her pack through a fierce battle against the Shadow Pack's rogue wolves. Alongside Ethan Cole, her fated mate and alpha, she's faced loss, found strength, and honored the sacrifice of Jasper Reed. But Selene Kane is still out there, and the mystery of the child with ancient blood remains unsolved. Grab a cozy spot, because this ending is going to leave you hopeful, curious, and ready for more. The night is calm after the Pack's ritual, the stone circle a quiet testament to their resilience. Lila and Ethan stand together under a sky full of stars, the parchment from Selene in Lila's hands. Its symbols are still a puzzle, but they know it points to the child, a shifter whose power could change everything. Lila's heart is heavy with the weight of leadership, but Ethan's presence grounds her. Their bond, once fractured by his rejection, feels stronger now, forged in battle and forgiveness. "We'll find the child," Ethan says, his voice steady with determination. Lila nods, her hazel eyes meeting his. Together she replies, and the word carries the promise of a shared future. That night, Lila dreams a vision as vivid as reality. She sees a young shifter cloaked in light standing in a forest glade. The child's eyes hold an ancient wisdom, and a voice whispers, "The truth lies within you." Lila wakes with a start, her heart racing. The dream feels like a clue, a message tied to her role as Luna, but its meaning is just out of reach. She shares it with Ethan, who listens intently, his green eyes thoughtful. Whatever it means, he says we'll face it as a pack. Their renewed trust is a beacon, but Lila knows the Shadow Pack won't rest until the child is found. This moment feels like the end of one journey and the start of another, like finishing a chapter in a book you can't put down. It reminds me of real-life transitions. Think of graduating high school or moving to a new city where you celebrate what you've achieved but feel the pull of what's next. In America, we love stories that balance closure with possibility, like The Mandalorian, where each ending opens a new door. Lila and Ethan's commitment to each other and their pack is a victory, but Selene's shadow looms large, keeping the stakes alive. Here's a small lesson from this chapter. Every ending is a beginning in disguise. Lila's dream and the pack's resolve show that even when one fight is over, the next is waiting. It's a lesson we can carry into our own lives, whether it's starting a new job, mending a relationship, or chasing a dream. Embracing the unknown with hope and courage is what keeps us moving forward. As Lila and Ethan look out at the stars, the parchment feels like a map to their future. The child is out there, and Selene's plans are far from finished. Lila's dream lingers in her mind, a spark of something bigger, maybe a power within her, or a truth about the pack's past. The Crescent Pack is stronger now, united by loss and love, but the road ahead is uncertain. Ava Blake smiles, her voice warm with excitement. This isn't the end, my friends. Lila and Ethan's story is just getting started, and I can't wait to share what's next. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned, because the Crescent Pack's fight is far from over. What will Lila's dream reveal, and how will the Crescent Pack face Selene's next move? The answers are coming, and they'll change everything. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Until next time, keep believing in love, courage, and a little bit of magic.